Okay, now today we are going to discuss another Q&A part, that question and answer. In this one that I am going to explain this question like this. I have two solution. One is A. Solution A is a sodium hydroxide solution and solution B is an aluminium nitrate solution. A is sodium hydroxide, B is what? Aluminium nitrate. Now the question is, when A is added to B, there is a white precipitation. Why is that? Explain why. When A is added to B, it gives a white precipitation. A drop of A is added to B, it gives a white precipitation. But when B is added to A, no precipitation given. When B is added to A, no precipitation is formed. I guess the question is clear to you all. Our question is, when A is added to B, it gives a white precipitate, but B is added to A, it is not giving white precipitate. We will go to the first part of that. Why A is added to B, it gives white precipitate. A is sodium hydroxide, B is aluminium nitrate. Okay, now look at here. When sodium hydroxide is added to aluminium nitrate, that means when A is added to B, it gives white precipitate. What is A? A means sodium hydroxide. What is B? B means aluminium nitrate. So the sodium hydroxide is what? Actually this is A solution. This is the solution A, right? So what is B is? The aluminium nitrate, right? So aluminium nitrate, that B solution gives us what? Al3 plus ion. Sodium hydroxide gives us what? OH minus ion. So when sodium hydroxide is adding to aluminium nitrate, it gives a white precipitate. How? Sodium hydroxide means OH minus is adding to Al3 plus minus, so you know it makes AlOH twice, which is a white precipitate, right? So that's how the white precipitate is formed, right? But the thing is, if I add drop by drop another more and more sodium hydroxide, then aluminium hydroxide is an amphoteric hydroxide. I explained in the last video, amphoteric hydroxides are dissolved with excess sodium hydroxide. So that amphoteric hydroxide, aluminium hydroxide, reacted with excess ammonium hydroxide, that is excess ammonium hydroxide makes NaAlO2, that is aqueous, so it dissolves in water, right? Dissolves in excess sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is aqueous, right? Now you can understand why when the A is added to B, when the sodium hydroxide is added to aluminium nitrate, it makes aluminium hydroxide white precipitate, therefore it dissolves. But if aluminium hydroxide white precipitate is mixed with excess sodium hydroxide, it will dissolve. So when I add a few drops of sodium hydroxide to this reaction takes place. Then the first reaction takes place. When I add a few drops of sodium hydroxide to this, only this reaction takes place. Therefore what will happen? White precipitate is formed. But if B is added to A, right, that means, but no precipitation formed when B, that means aluminium nitrate, is added to A. Look at here, that aluminium nitrate is added to sodium hydroxide. Now this is sodium hydroxide. Just imagine, this is sodium hydroxide. Okay, this is sodium hydroxide. Using a dropper, right, using a dropper, when I add dropwise aluminium nitrate, right, that means Al3 plus ions, actually immediately Al3 plus and OH minus reacts. So Al3 plus and OH minus react and it makes this precipitate. But the thing is that it already present in excess sodium hydroxide. That means whenever instantly just after produce this ALOH thrice. Whenever this ALOH thrice is produced, now it is already producing excess sodium hydroxide because there's a pool of sodium hydroxide for small drop of aluminium ions. So it's already contain excess sodium hydroxide when B is adding to A. So when B is adding to A, that means we are adding the small quantity of aluminium ions to the pool of sodium hydroxide. That means sodium hydroxide is always excess. Therefore, even though the aluminium hydroxide white precipitate is formed, it quickly dissolves in this way, right? Therefore, when B is added to A, no white precipitation is visible because even though the white precipitate is formed, it quickly converts to this format, right? I guess you understand the question.